Hey folks, Russ Bailey here. It's time for another BrushPile Fishing, the podcast. I've got a great guest in store. I haven't got to fish with this man in years. He's getting old too because he's been on the Midwest Crappie days. Brad Whitehead.
How you doing, buddy?
Brad, how's it going, man?
Man, it's good. How are you? You've been waiting all day for this, haven't you?
Yeah, like I wait for a headache. Listen, we're going to be right back. We're going to talk some fishing with Brad. You stay tuned. We'll be back with BrushPile Fishing, the podcast. All right, folks. Hey, we're back with the podcast brought to you by Bob's Cycle in Sydney, Ohio. For all your ATV needs, everything you need down there, give Bob a call. They'll take care of you. Mr. Brad Whitehead.
Yes, sir.
Brad, haven't seen you, let alone fish with you, but I haven't seen you for many years, seems like. But before we get talking about your lake and some things that we've got coming up in the future, you took a little time off from the business part of it.
I did. I think 2020 was the last time I was here at Grizzly. My son, Nathan, as you've met several times, has got
When he
into
was
the
this big
yes. Got into the bass world, and we were in the high school bass fishing for about 6 years. So
competitive. Man.
We went all over the states. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was the boringest time in my life, but I got to spend time with him. I got to spend time, with his friends and whatnot. And I kind of have this: if you can't give 100%, you might need to step back just a little bit. And I was actually giving 100% to the bass world, to the high school world with him.
Your son,
my
man.
son, and I kind of backed off on the crappie stuff, even the trips, the shows, guiding in general, because he had a short window. So his junior and senior year, I took a little time off, but hey, it's good to be back, man. I have absolutely had a blast, getting to see everybody, getting back in the system, and, I'm ready for our time, back to crappie fishing, back to, getting in the media and getting going again. And it takes a little while.
Yeah.
So me and you've talked about this trip for the last couple of years.
Have.
You've sent me a few videos letting me know that you were still there and you was ready to go. And, I think it'll be fun. And like I said, you can't take, and if you're watching this and you're debating on doing things, you can't get the time back with your kids. And, if he would have been into golf or soccer or any kind of sport, baseball, you've done that too.
Yep.
That comes first. Family first. Our sponsors that we have, they're family owned and operated. And, they want you, they'll tell you, they don't like it, but they will tell you your family comes first.
Yep.
So, if you're out there and you're kind of debating on what I need to do, family, fishing, you better hang with the family for a few years.
Like you said, it's a short window you have.
So I've been very blessed. He's out now. He's fishing in the college league. He's actually fishing today that we're talking. And but they don't need boat captains, and that's wonderful. So it allows me to get out here and do some of these shows and catch up with guys like you guys.
Well, folks, if you're part of the crappie fishing community, it's a family, whether it's the business part of this or just the guys you fish with all the time. And family's important to us, and you've got to make that your priority. And like you say, my son grew up playing baseball. There's a lot of things I could have done fishing, but I spent time with him and don't regret it a minute. And like your son, he's grown. Now, mine's out of college now. He's in law school. So I've been hitting the crappie trail hot and heavy again. We are going to do something. First of all, Brad, if someone wants to book a trip with you, what lakes are you guiding on, and what's the easiest way to get in touch with you?
The lakes I'm on right now are Pickwick and Wilson Lake, which is in northwest Alabama. And then we've got a small chain of lakes that you've been on called the BCDA. They're the Bear Creek Development Authority. They're a flood control lake. Very clear, very clean, and I stay on all of those. So the easiest way, if you don't want to go on social media, of course I've got a page, Brad Whitehead Fishing on Facebook and Instagram. But the easiest way is pick up the phone, 256-483-0834. And shoot me a text or call me. I'll describe the day and what we're going to do. I pretty much from February to the end of April, I'm full crappie. And then I do a month there in May that I do brim. And then I pick up, I'm not supposed to say it though, Russ. We'll do summer, June, July, and August. Obviously, what we're going to do for crappie, and then in the fall, bass fishing, live bait for smallmouth. Now,
folks,
Russ,
that's the end of this podcast.
Now, Russ, let me tell you. Now, have you smallmouth fished?
I love smallmouth fishing, dude. I do.
You know, a couple of our sponsors crappie sponsors don't like to. Jack Wells being one of them. He don't like for me to talk bass, but you know, I'm multi-species, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
So. But what we're going to do, you and I will be in the middle of the summertime. A lot of people don't think that you can catch crappie in the summer, but we're going to prove them wrong.
Well, and especially, not only are we going to get them in the summer, but something pretty unique.
Pretty unique. You know, it's. I've had the mindset for the last, 15 years that I had to fish deep in the summer. Well, I'm going to try to show you how we're going to catch these fish 11, 12 feet and shallower in the middle of the summertime.
And we're talking Alabama, folks, a southern state. It is hot down there. So this is something I've been looking forward to ever since we started, throwing this idea around.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty neat. We put out a lot of structure. I probably put out 2,000 to 3,000 stake beds a year, a couple of brush piles from here to there, put out some cane. And I know you've fished some cane, Lake Eufaula, Alabama.
Yep.
So it's very productive. One or two of the benefits from fishing in the summertime is, first of all, we're going to have a morning bite, so it's not going to be 900 degrees.
Yep.
And the second thing is a lot less boat traffic. So that's a plus. That gives you, fishing in the summer, it gives you about 3 months of extra fishing.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to be able to, us put together a pattern and make it happen in the summer.
Now, one thing I'm going to tell you, folks, okay, if you're going to book a summer trip with this man, bring you the biggest, widest, tallest can of off you can get, okay? Because I kid you not, the first show I ever did with him, he was nervous too. First show, it goes back a year. He had him
I look good though, didn't I?
He had him a pretty little checkered dress shirt on and everything. And no, we tore the fish up. We were crankbaiting. But I'm telling you, we got Mr. Blake back here. But I'm telling you, I don't know what kind of flies these were down in Alabama, but they were hitting your ankles. We had shorts on. And when I say they bit, I think I lost 2.5 gallons of blood that day.
Well,
and he's trying to tell me, that ain't never happened before.
Yeah, that was in the afternoon. We're going to be in the morning, so it'll probably be frost on the ground in June.
So book your trip in the morning with Brad.
Oh, that was fun. That goes to show, relationships in fishing too.
Yeah.
A lot of these people don't even know what Midwest crappie was back
know,
then. Our new and up and comers. But I've said this, and I'm gonna say it while Russ is here on camera. Russ is the longest running crappie TV show that's been on the market, and I know for my lifetime, I'm 48 years old, and there's not been another crappie TV show that has lasted longer than yours. And I don't think a lot of the new people understand that. You've been in this a long time. So I'm giving you a little recognition.
I appreciate it.
So don't tear up or cry on me, but friendships in the angling world, it lasts a long time, and we change. As far as me and you, we get broke down and change.
Oh yeah.
But my thing is, if you develop a friendship, most of the time, and I would say 92%, 95% of all my friendships is fellow anglers.
I know. I agree.
Hunters, outdoorsmen, I guess is the word. So I've been looking forward to this, been looking forward to getting back into the system and, letting people know, hey, we got a lot of new stuff out here. Things have changed since the last time we did a trip.
Big time.
So I'm looking forward to it. So.
And folks, I'm going to throw this one right back on him. He talks about the show lasting so long. I have always said and firmly believe that one of the things that separates BrushPile Fishing from some of the other shows is instead of you seeing me doing the same thing every week, just me, we have, between our sponsors, Pro Staff guys, we have the best guests and best crappie fishermen in the country. And every week we're bringing you someone different from somewhere different. Excuse me. And the way I look at it, if Brad's going to be my guest, this is his half-hour show.
Yes.
I'm here to talk to him a little bit,
Yes.
have a good time, but this is his show to explain to you why you should come down to this lake this time. So, and I think it's kept it a little bit different than any other show out there. So,
Well,
the guests have done it, man.
It's lasted the time, and I don't think people understand how difficult, not only traveling in the show, but it's it's difficult to deal with day in and day out sponsorships. It's not free. You cannot do this stuff. There's a business part, and things change, partners change, but you've pretty much stayed the same on sponsorships and friendships and business deals. And to me, that brings as much table as your actually TV show.
Yeah.
So, it's a lot behind the scenes, a whole lot,
It's been fun, though. It's been a heck of a ride.
Man, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Folks, give Brad a call. And again, you will have a ball fishing with him, not just catching the fish, but the conversation, stuff he'll talk about, whatever you want to call it. Believe half of it. But no, give Brad a call. Brad, I appreciate you joining me, man.
Thank you very much for this time, Russ.
All right. Folks, before we take off, if you do not have the BrushPile app, which, by the way, are you on there under the guide section?
I'm not sure.
You're back in it now.
I can't lie on TV. I'm not sure. I've got to get it.
You
when
need to
this
get
is
it.
over with, we're going to make it happen.
Okay. Folks, whether you have an Android or an Apple phone, the BrushPile app's completely free. It has so many different features that as an angler you can use. One of the sections is the guide section. If you see a show that Brad and I do, you think, man, I'd like to book a trip with him, go to the guide section, look up Brad Whitehead. You'll see a bio on him, and then you can contact him directly through the app and book your trip with him. So here's a little bit more information about that app. The new BrushPile Fishing Show companion app will change the way you watch a show, but more importantly, it will change the way you educate yourself on crappie fishing. This is so much more than just an app. It will be your go-to source for weather, BrushPile fishing shows, crappie fishing tips, and your own handheld logbook. There will also be contact information for guides from past episodes, special offers from our sponsors, and tips that range from simple to advanced. Download the new BrushPile Fishing Companion app. It's free for Android and Apple users. It's everything a crappie angler needs. Make sure you check that out. Okay, folks, Bob Cycle, I appreciate you sponsoring today's show. Brad, again, man, it's always a pleasure talking to you.
Always have a good time.
Welcome back to the crappie fishing.
Thank you very much.
Folks, I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. We'll be back again with BrushPile Fishing, the podcast.